Brennan Doherty here, sitting with Gibbons head football coach Coach Wright a few days now after his team's 49-17 victory at rival Ravenscroft. Coach, how does it feel to get a win like that, especially on the road against a rival?
It's always a nice feeling. Ravenscroft has typically been Cardinal Gibbons' biggest rivalry over the years, and to be able to go over to their place, get off to a good start, and build a 33-3 halftime lead was real nice to see.
Now their offense scored a field goal on their first possession. They got 3 first downs thanks to a short drive, thanks to a good kickoff return. But they didn't get another first down until I think it was 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. How impressive is that by your defense to just no first downs at all in the remainder of the first, and the second and third quarters, and not until the fourth quarter to give up a first down?
It certainly gives our coaching staff a lot of confidence. They were down. Their starting quarterback was out with an injury. But the defense, once we got settled in there after that first series, they really played lights out. It was 3 and out from there on out until we got to the fourth quarter. And to see us, the way, especially our front seven, handled their offensive front, and with the speed with which we played on the back half of that defense was very encouraging as we move forward in the conference play.
Now on offense, I know you said things didn't go completely as smoothly as they could have gone. A few drop passes and a few just plays where you don't think you executed as well as you could, but you still put up 49 points. What did you think about your offense's performance in the game? Well,
I felt like you said, we had a few hiccups. We had some drops. There were a few times where we didn't make great decisions. But we were able to, I think, one, because of the nature of the offense, the tempo that we were playing at, and two, because of some of the execution up front by us, we were able to overcome a few of those mistakes and still score a lot of points.
Now your quarterback, Sean Stankiewicz, maybe not the best of his nights, but still threw for 2 touchdowns and 126 yards. Are you seeing improvements in his game really just on a week-to-week basis so far this season?
Definitely, especially if we take this past week's performance and even compare it to week 1. We're just 4 weeks into the season, and to see the steps that he's taken, those are encouraging steps. And we knew coming in a more talented opponent than our previous week's opponent, and it was nice to see him respond to that. And even though we had a few hiccups, like we said, he still played well, made some really good decisions in the run game, and then when we had to have it in the passing game, he was there and executed.
Now both of his touchdown passes went to senior wide receiver Trevor Saruba. How nice was it to see him emerge that night in particular? Some nights it's Stephen Boyle, some nights it's Nick Holloway, but last game is Trevor Saruba. What do you think about his play?
Yeah, it was very encouraging. We've expected a lot out of Trevor. He's 6'3", 195 pounds. He's a tall, long receiver who is very athletic, and we've kind of been waiting for him to emerge, and it was nice to see him step up and really take advantage of the opportunities that we gave him on Friday night.
Now, with the bye week ahead of you now, I know one thing you're saying how important it is to get healthy. Talk a little bit about Ben Grayson and his status and some of the other guys who just need to work on getting healthy before 2 weeks from now at Cedar Ridge.
Yeah, we've got a number of guys that are nicked up, and like you said, this bye week comes at an ideal time for us. We've come through a pretty tough non-conference schedule, and there's just bumps and bruises you acquire along the way, and a number of our starters have those. And this has been a good week to revisit some of the fundamentals, get healthy, and prepare for Cedar Ridge and then our conference run.
Now Ben Grayson, even playing through some injuries, with his foot, groin, and most recently his back, even with playing with those injuries, what do you make of his performance so far through 4 games in his senior season at running back?
Well, I think it's indicative of what we saw out of him last year. He's explosive, he's quick, he's fast, and he is a difference maker for us. And so it's going to be fun to see him as he continues to return here to 100% health, to see him out on that field again. Running at 100 miles an hour and providing a nice little punch for our offense.
Now, Kane Joninger had a good game as well against Ravenscroft. field goals of 30 and 47 yards. You know, talk about 47 yards. You know, that's not easy for many Division I kickers. How nice is it to have a threat like him in the kicking game for you?
Well, I think it's certainly a luxury, especially at the high school level. He brings a whole new dimension for us for the special teams. You know, being able to count on him to be able to bury the ball deep on kickoffs, and then also knowing that he's going to be steady as anybody in this state in terms of kicking the ball with PAT and field goals. And you know, he's now 3 for 3 field goal wise on the season, and outside of 2 bad snaps and a tough hold, you know, he's perfect on his PAT. So we've been really pleased with him.
You know, on defense, after last season, there were a lot of questions about your front seven. But still, this past week at Ravenscroft, too, like some of the younger guys stepping up, Carson Lyden, Steven Scott at linebacker, Michael Benevenuto, and Demetrius Melionis on the line. How impressed have you been, especially after losing all those guys from last year, about their play?
Very impressed, and you can add in there Rich Scourin, who stepped in there defensive end some for us and done a phenomenal job. He started, in fact, against Ravenscroft. I've been really pleased with those guys. They've stepped up to the plate really well. Danny Schultz and Nick Carroll have provided some stability up front with Scott Washley, you know, the second level at the Mike linebacker, and those young guys have filled in really better than we anticipated.
Now, after this upcoming Cedar Ridge game 2 weeks from now, then you start conference play, and you'll face the likes of undefeated Chapel Hill and one-loss Orange and a very athletic team in Southern Bands. What do you make of those 3 teams in particular, and the challenges that they'll bring to your team later on this season?
They are going to be, all 3 of those teams are extremely talented. They are going to push us certainly to the brink. I think all 3 of those games are going to be extremely competitive, and it's going to take our best effort to walk out of each one of those with a win.
Now, before we get into conference play, you face Cedar Ridge 2 weeks from now. What are they gonna? What do you expect to see from them?
What we'll see on their offense, they're actually an I offense, pro style defense. They're really a modified 3-4 front, and so we'll see. That's something that we've seen before this season, and so I don't think there'll be any big surprises. But you know, they, like so many of the teams we face, have got a lot of talent, and we're going to have to you know, play our best football to be able to find a win.
Now, with a bye week like this, what are you looking to improve on with on both sides of the ball?
I think for us, it's a return to fundamentals, revisiting those, getting healthy, and then getting in some good work and getting some of our backups some good practice reps. So we see this as an opportunity to kind of revisit the foundation and then begin again to build next week as we head towards Cedar Ridge.
All right, thanks for your time this week, Coach. You can catch us next week as well with the weekly Gibbons football recap. Until next time, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Brennan.